with your opinion. Like, what do you think is personal brand, and how do you think people should think about personal brand?
That's a good question. There's so many ways to do that.
Most of the people, they are thinking about personal brand from a professional setting, and that's why the question is like, I'm introverted, I don't want to put out myself on social media. What's the alternate way of building a personal brand without putting yourself on social media? Even when I was dating him, I had pushed him to start creating something on LinkedIn, and I was like, dude, if I can't tell my husband to build his personal brand. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Keep It Real with Aish and Adi.
Welcome everyone. So excited to be back, and took a lot of feedback from our first couple of podcasts. So excited to be back and talk about a new topic.
And it's of course one of our favorite topics, or a topic where we have slightly different opinions, so it's going to be spicy. It's a topic about personal branding, and trust me on this, even when I was dating him, I had pushed him to start creating something on LinkedIn, and I was like, dude, if I can't tell my husband to build his personal brand, how am I supposed to help people know that you need to have a personal brand? And we had this discussion about personal branding before I even thought of writing a book, and a lot of the things that we are going to be discussing today is partly covered in the book as well, which is about, is personal branding of the same flavor for everyone, or how should different people having different goals and different personalities think about building a personal brand for themselves? So let's start with your opinion. I think I have already spoken about my opinion of personal brand multiple times. This, what's happening is also part of me putting out myself, and part of my personal brand. So I have been doing all the social media stuff, including LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, etc. So let's start with your opinion. What do you think is personal brand, and how do you think people should think about personal branding?
Yeah. So first of all, I think we need to understand that personal brand is different for a lot of different people, and it is different based on who is perceiving that, or who is sort of the receiver of that personal brand. So I feel a person could first of all have many different personal brands. There is a personal brand about how your friends and family perceive you as well. Are you a caring person? Are you there for them when the times are tough? Are you a person who's an expert in maybe certain finances or real estate? That could be your personal brand as well. It need not just be about work.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing that people need to understand. And of course, the traditional thought of personal brand, folks like yourself and what we see on LinkedIn and social media, is more about who you are as a person professionally. What are the skills that you bring to the table? What is your unique voice? When I think about, for example, when I think of you, when I think about data science, immigrant success story, those are the areas where I would immediately be like, okay, if I have to pick the top 2 or 3 people, I would pick you. And another thing that we'll probably get into as the podcast continues is how to build a personal brand for yourself. And a personal brand need not be something where you have to put yourself out there for the entire world to see. It doesn't mean that you need to be a social media influencer, or you need to start posting on LinkedIn. You need to start getting likes, reactions, paid partnerships. That alone is not a definition of personal brand. It could be something where your organization perceives you, how your internal teams, how sort of folks who work with you perceive you as well. So that is my general idea. A personal brand, sort of summarizing it, a personal brand depends on your individual personality as well as what is the situation around you. Is it a professional setting? Is it a personal setting? It could be maybe a third setting where it could be something like a community volunteer setting. You never know. So that it depends on the person and the setting around them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the core that we are getting at is, every time that you're thinking about your personal brand, there's 2 components to it, right? What are the things that you care about? What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that maybe comes naturally to you? And the second is, this is sort of the input, right? And the output is probably what is the audience that you're trying to target. Now, like when I think about my personal brand, it is for me to be an AI educator. So for me, that audience is sitting on social media, but it need not be the same case for everyone. Like I'm just throwing out this example because like she's the first thing that comes to my mind. Like when I started on my fitness journey, I used to follow some influencers on social media. That's again, like that's a medium where they share about how they do it, they are teaching people, etc. So I used to follow Shilpa Shetty a lot. Now, if you think about it, professionally, she's an actor. But because of her lifestyle, because of her ideologies, because of her fitness regime and stuff, her personal branding to some extent has become more of fitness and healthy lifestyle rather than purely being acting, right? And so is the case with a lot of other people as well. Like their professions could be something, but then their personal interests, their unique skill set, something which is like more personal to them, right? Like something which is more personal to them, that's coming from their experiences, is sort of what is building their personal brand. And we have seen like multiple people who are like, full-time software engineers and like teaching calisthenics, or like entrepreneurs who are like a solopreneur on the side outside of their 9 to 5, and they are maybe into like the beauty business, or they are into catering business, and so on and so forth. Now it all comes down to like, how do you target your audience? So maybe let's go back to the part of a professional personal brand, because I feel that's one of the part where people get very shy. I think from a general personal brand, people understand that, oh yeah, at the end of the day, if you want to hit the masses or target a huge audience, then social media is the place to go. So most of the people, they are thinking about personal brand from a professional setting, and that's why the question is like, I'm introverted, I don't want to put out myself on social media. What's the alternate way of building a personal brand without putting yourself on social media?
No, 100%. So that's a good question. So there's so many ways to do that. And I know this because you have been encouraging me to post a lot on social media, and I personally am very shy. I don't like being on the camera as much, or like putting myself out there on social media. So definitely, like social media is one way of doing it, and that's also when you are targeting like a broad set of audience, and you want to build a following. You want people to like sort of look to you as the person that they go to when they want to learn something or they want to get inspired. So those are the sort of things that actually most people do not think of, like, and most people do not want to do that. Most people, the most common use case that I see for building a personal brand is to try and go up the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
Internally, to sort of be known as the go-to person for an area of expertise. So I feel that's the easiest way to build a personal brand, because in any organization, leaders have a set of people that they go to for specific problems. If you are the CEO, you know that I need to reach out to a specific person to solve a finance related question. I need to reach out to a specific person when there is an engineering outage. Like the CEO counts on these people to go figure out the solution.
Yeah.
So you need to sort of figure out how you need to be that person.
Yeah.
Because you are, and the CEO themselves are accountable to the board. It's not like the CEO, is the person who's just handing tasks. They each have their own expertise. So if you want to eventually get to this level, you need to start figuring out what your area of expertise is, and this could be within a corporate setting. You don't need to post on social media. You don't need to put yourself out there outside of your company. Like that's totally acceptable. But within the company, as you start, once you've taken up a new job, it is important to start identifying maybe a couple of areas that are like the perfect intersection of what interests you and what is critical to like your team goals. Yeah. So that you also love what you're doing, and you also become the person that the team relies on when there is a specific issue. Yeah. And this could start very small. Like in my case, I started working with a lot of customers that were focused on AI infra. So slowly, I started learning about AI infra. I didn't know much about it to begin with. I learned about it, took time to educate myself, understand the different customer problems that I was seeing, try to document some of it, and also broadly socialize with my larger group so that folks come to me for questions related to that specific topic. And then eventually I sort of built an area of expertise, and I was seen as the person. Okay, this person, if I have a problem related to AI infra, or like my customer is having issues with Google's AI infra, this person can at least point me in the right direction.
Yeah.
So that's just an idea. For everyone, their area of expertise could be different. And it's very important you identify that. So that becomes a very strong personal brand for leaders in your organization to identify you as.
Yeah.
And then that helps you grow the ladder faster. So I definitely feel that identifying these one or two areas, especially when you're early in your career, it is very important.
That's actually a great point, right? Like we started off with the step one is that yeah, you need a personal brand and this is why you need it. Step two is that you need to find that niche for yourself and then like pigeonhole on that. Now step three, help us understand how do you go about building that visibility within your organization.
I think before we go to that part, I think another important thing that a lot of people also ask is how to identify your personal brand.
Okay.
Like I feel like that is also a very big question that I think a lot of your followers also I have seen they ask that question. That hey, like I've been working at this company, like how do I identify a personal brand? And most people have something that they are really good at.
Yeah.
They are just not able to know
what
that is the thing that is valuable, and that is the thing that they can actually market themselves within the organization and sell themselves really hard and sort of build expertise in that area. I feel like most people, like they work in an organization, they observe a lot of things, they do their day-to-day job without realizing that maybe a critical piece that they touched is a problem that is faced by the entire company. So I feel like try to find patterns, whether you are a social media influencer or an employee, try to find repeating patterns where people are asking questions about the same hot topics, like the same problems that people are running into, or on social media, like you were seeing a lot of people asking how to land a job in AI. And then you be the person who tries to solve that problem. So once you be the person who builds expertise in that repeated problem area, or like for example in your case, you were able to build an area of expertise where you became the person who could talk about AI education, how to land jobs, interviews. So finding those repeated patterns and then being the go-to person to solve it, I feel is a great first way to identify a personal brand.
I think what you covered is sort of like a two-part of it, right? Like finding your personal brand is partly also introspecting and trying to understand what you're good at. And somewhere like for me, what was helpful is because I enjoyed public speaking. So that was a personal trait and somehow I combined it with a professional setup and that became like a unique selling point for me. I feel like a lot of times people don't introspect about their personal unique traits. I feel some people are just amazing from a creative perspective. You know, like they're amazing at visualizing things, breaking down complex topics, simplifying it. Or some people I feel are amazing at documenting. I've come across working with people who are like, they have the most clear documents or like plans or strategy docs ever. I feel all of these things are like small things in your head, but then that does create a big impact when you're working in an organization, and those can be like the unique traits that you can piggyback on and make it part of your personal brand. And the second is maybe like an outward motion that you're talking about is observe what is going on, observe where people are looking for a subject matter expert and upskill yourself to be that subject matter expert.
So 100%. I think you really broke it down well. So now so far we've spoken about what is a personal brand, what are the different kinds of personal brand, internal, external, social media influencer versus a technical SME at an organization. The third topic that we covered was how to identify a personal brand. Now, if you followed these steps, the next step, and probably the area where I really want to hear your perspective because you've been fantastic at it, is now that you've done all these steps, you identified a personal brand, you know that this is an area we want to go, I want to go all in. Like I want to really like showcase my expertise to the world or within my organization, whatever audience it is. How do you go about it? Like what is step one?
So I'll not spend too much time on the external part because I think there have been a lot of examples of external personal brands. Like that was why I wrote my book as well, right? Like it's talking about why you need a personal brand, how do you identify your self-worth, and a lot of times it's also a question about, you know, losing your identity. When people end up like spending 40 years of their life working at in a corporate setup, you somewhere like lose your identity of like who you are outside your job title. That was my goal of writing the book, but my book covers a lot about external personal branding, right? Like how do you choose the right platform, how do you hear the thoughts from your audience, who are the audience that you want to target. It's both like a two-way street where you're like, you want to share certain things and like educate your audience, and you want to like, you know, push your thought leadership towards them, and at the same time you have to be receptive of what they want to hear. So I think all of that part is probably well documented otherwise on the internet as well, which is best practices of building it up on social media. It's about networking with the right people. It is hard work, let's be honest, it is hard work. A lot of times, like you have seen me, right? Like there are times when on my weekends I'm just like going out and attending events, meeting people, creating content, learning new things. So it can be taxing, and keeping that consistency is what really helps you get a top-notch personal brand. But I feel that's again like coming back to the point that external personal brand or like the social media personal brand is not the only kind of personal brand. The key components of the equation is the same. It's you, it's your personal brand, which is like your unique skill set. You have identified an audience. In my case, it's probably like broader AI enthusiasts, AI engineers, AI leaders who are interested to learn and upskill in the field. And the medium is social media, right? But if you are somebody who doesn't want to take the social media route or like, you know, have top of the funnel audience for themselves, if you want to rather build yourself within the company, help us understand how do you build that visibility internally.
So I think one point that you mentioned, right, that is very critical. I feel internal versus, I don't want to say internal, external, irrespective of the setting that you're trying to build your visibility in, is consistency.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of people also lack that. Like it's very easy to drown yourself in many different initiatives. Like, you know, you want to do a social fun event, you want to be the guy that like is great at organizing these social events, you want to be the guy that is a technical SME in 5 different areas. It's probably going to be very hard to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you'll probably be inch deep and mile wide.
Fair. Yeah.
Like, you don't want that.
Yeah.
That is also very hard. A lot of people get themselves into that rabbit hole thinking that, oh, if I do 10 different things, I'm probably
more
going
visible
to move up the ladder or be visible. I feel like that is not true.
Yeah.
Like, I would say pick 1 or 2 areas. You can have multiple. It need not be like something closely related. It could have multiple areas. Try to find the perfect mix of an area that is of your interest and the area that's a critical problem along the organization, and just be consistent. Continue sharing knowledge, building communities, showcasing your expertise to leaders. Make sure your managers and your leaders are giving you that visibility as well. Have a conversation with them that this is something that you're really passionate about. Ask them to identify opportunities for you where you can participate more. And like, you know, really like hone in on that, and that's going to help you. Like that's really going to help you, whether it's within this organization or when you're doing a job search. It's really like you can take it as far as you want, and it's important to be consistent, to try to stick to something that you've identified as a niche area. Try to continue building expertise over there and make that your personal brand. I really like the consistency point that you made, and I feel that's applicable in any situation.
Yeah. And I want you to, like, you know, in your words, because I mean, like, I obviously know your stories, but I want you to explain the things that you have done, because things around, you know, building repeatable templates or coaching the rest of the team about something cutting edge that you're working on, or like, you know, some major problems that you've seen with customers, like building repeatable templates around that. Also, one of the interesting things that I've always seen you doing is going beyond your team. right? Like not sharing your thoughts with just your team, but trying to expand it to other functions, other functional areas. And I feel that's more thoughtful, and that shows a leadership quality, that you're not just thinking about yourself and your growth, you're thinking about a team-wide impact or an organization-wide impact.
100%. And those are some things that I've definitely tried to do as much as possible. So the first thing that I did was I started simple, right? I spoke to my manager, the leaders in my organization, to understand the different avenues that I can socialize my skills and where I can really get the best visibility. I feel visibility is a very big challenge, especially in really like large organizations.
Yeah.
Like you can do like multiple team learning sessions, you can do multiple sessions with your customer, but you really want a broad audience where you can not only showcase your skills but also solve a problem for someone else. So I feel like one interesting thing that we did in our organization is try to build SME groups. So SME groups are like subject matter expertise groups. So these are a group of experts in a specific area. So what they do is they have basically an intake process where anybody who has a question related to this area, they can reach out to this team directly, and this could be anywhere in the organization. Like they could reach out to this team and try to get a solution from them. So I feel like trying to be part of SME groups, trying to learn from other people who are also interested in the same area, try to build community. You don't have to be at it alone. Like that's not the goal. It's not just you against the world. Like there are probably a lot of people like you who are interested. So come together, build a team, try to teach others your tricks, your techniques. And ask your leaders. I feel like the leaders have a good perspective, a wider perspective on what are the best mediums to socialize this. Most organizations have team-wide learning sessions, lunch and learns, these large calls where it's just about learning. Like someone comes, presents a topic, and everyone just listens and learns. And if there are any common themes, you ask questions, and that person tries to answer it, or comes in a call with you, tries to solve the situation with you, and that also helps build network. So those are the few things that I did, and I encourage everyone who's trying to find that area of expertise to start doing. Try identifying areas, especially these large organizations. There's so many things happening all the time. So definitely, I would encourage you all to do that.
And if there isn't a lunch and learn, you can start one.
100%. You can start a community, you can start initiatives, you can do a lot. And typically a great leader is also able to if your manager, your leadership, most great leaders, they are really appreciative of this initiative by somebody, and they'll try to get you the most visibility as possible, or at least identify those areas. So definitely lean in on your mentors, lean in on your managers, lean in on the community as well, to sort of help you guide and build that personal brand.
And I feel like this is again a small trick, but I feel a lot of people don't do this. They have their goals in their mind and they try to navigate a way to do it, but something as simple as asking your manager or asking your leadership these questions also does solve a lot. Which is, you can just go tell your manager or your senior manager or whoever your leadership is, where you're most comfortable sharing about these things. Just tell them that, hey, I would like to be known as a subject matter expert in this, or how do I socialize my work more? Can I be part of some more sessions? Can I present my work, or can I work on some initiatives which has a larger impact than just the role that I'm in? I feel that's also something that broadens your horizon of learning things, because any role in any big organization is going to be a cookie cutter role, right? Like if there are 10,000 software engineers, their role expectation is going to be the same. But if you are able to put in your thoughts about same thing as you mentioned earlier, which is align your interest and align the team's goal, speak to your manager, speak to your leadership about this on how you can go about it. There are always a lot of moonshot projects that every team has, which is hey, one day we'll get to that thing. We know that it's high impact, but we don't have bandwidth for it, or we're not prioritized it yet. pick up those initiatives. That's probably like one of the best ways to, like, show proactiveness and just ask for opportunities. I think that's something that people miss out on.
Yeah, I like the cookie cutter analogy you made, right? That's very important because there's so many software engineers. How do you differentiate
Yeah.
yourself from others? So yeah, no, 100%. So yeah, any closing thoughts, words of advice on personal brand? I think we covered a lot of ground in terms of helping folks build, identify, and understand what a personal brand is. So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your.
So the easiest thing is just getting started. I feel people go on a lot of like analysis paralysis,
Yeah.
which is like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this in the next year, or like, let me chart it down, let me think over it, like for 2 months straight. Leave it. It's okay. Like, get started with something small, like the first conversation, right? Like, set up some time with your manager and try to ask them that, hey, if I want to be known for this, or I want to like increase my visibility inside the organization, what is the first step that I can do? And be action first. Like, plans are great, but most people get stuck with analysis paralysis. So don't be that, and just get started with a simple step.
In terms of, I wanted to share a point. We spoke a lot about organizations, but externally, if you're trying to build expertise, I think it is important to start like sharing stuff that you are observing. So if you are trying to like, if you want to share your expertise on LinkedIn, try to identify industry trends, stuff that you're reading, probably what you've read, others have not read, most likely, and they would love to hear about it, your opinion on it. So I feel like just start sharing it, not for likes, reactions, comments, like just to engage. Even if you make one meaningful connection, like it can really change your career trajectory, or like really open up new avenues for you. So I feel like just continue sharing whatever you're reading about in the area that you're interested in, what's going on in the world, your opinions on something that happened. I think that's a great way to start. And when you read these things, you also try to keep yourself updated. So I feel like for people who are trying to be more outward, trying to build a personal brand, like that's way beyond like the one that you have, the that's way beyond like their organization or company. I think that's a great way to get started. Get Aishwarya's book. It has a lot of visual diagrams that I really like. Like I really like the visual breakdown of like how to build a personal brand, how to be motivated, how to even take breaks and help like relax your brain. I feel like a book, if I could just get a repository of all the diagrams in your book, I think that would be very helpful for me as well. So yeah, definitely check out Aishwarya's books, especially for the visual diagrams.
Very practical, okay? Like, I hate preachy books. I read a lot of non-fiction, but sometimes it comes across as very preachy. So I was like, if ever I am writing a book, it'll be actionable. It'll be like, do this. So that's what the whole book is about. So yeah. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you in the next episode. Till then, make sure that you're liking and subscribing the video so you can get updates on it.